All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a video on how if you don't want to be called a liar, right, then start telling the truth. And this is for all these people out there that are deliberately lying about what's written in the Bible, man. They try and make out like God loves everyone when they know that it's not true. They lie about the color of the Messiah and put him as a Caucasian man, a so-called white man, and they know that's not true. They make out like salvation's for everybody and that the new covenant's for everyone when they know that it specifically says it's only for the house of Israel and the house of Judah, right? They lie about so many things written in the Bible and they know that these things are not true. They make excuses for being able to eat pork. There's even people out there that make excuses for being part of the rainbow community, man. People just lying all the time, right? But then when they get called out for being liars, they have the nerve to get offended when what are you supposed to call somebody that lies, right? What are you supposed to call them, right? Ezekiel chapter 13 and verse 2, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy and say thou unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. So forget all these people that are trying to prophesy what they want Yahweh to do on the earth instead of what Yahweh said he's going to do, right? They're trying to make it like, oh, nah, we're going to be peaceful down. No, it's not going to be peaceful down here, man. It's clearly not going to be peaceful down here. No one on this earth is winning right now, apart from a few select demons out here that are of the nation of Esau. Everybody else is catching hell. Everybody else down here is done, man. And people ain't having a good time down here. The women that are so proud, they ain't having a good time down here. The men ain't having a good time down here. No one's, the celebrities ain't having a good time down here. Everyone's bugged out and through. So it's clearly not about to be a good time, is it? Because where's the good times then? Verse 4, O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. Ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in a battle in the day of Yahweh. They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, the Lord saith, and the Lord have not sent them. And they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word. Have ye not seen a vain vision? Have ye not spoken a lying divination, whereas ye say, Yahweh saith, albeit I have not spoken? They're trying to make it like Yahweh told them this and told them that, when he never told them nothing. They're saying that we're under the new covenant. How are we under the new covenant, yeah? Living in 2-bedroom houses, living in 1-bedroom houses, living in studios, living in houses with mold. How are we under the new covenant? Having to pay bills to Esau? How are we under the new covenant? How are we under the new covenant when we got our people that are poor? You know what I mean? How are we under the new covenant when we're poor? How are we under the new covenant having to pay bills to Esau? Man? How are we under the new covenant having to go to do work for Esau? How are we under the new covenant? How are we under the new covenant having to go, if we want to go to a restaurant, Esau or Elam or one of the heathens, they're the ones serving us, and we don't know what them ingredients are. How are we under the new covenant, man? We don't own no factory for our own clothes. How are we under the new covenant wearing mixed fabrics, man? How? How are we under the new covenant where even our damn Wi-Fi in our house is damn jacking us up, man? How are we under the new covenant? How can that be, man? How are we under the new covenant with receding hairlines, man? Huh? How are we under the new covenant? We're out of shape. We're out of shape, obese. How are we under the new covenant when Eve's still wearing weave, man? The Israelite woman's still wearing weave in her hair. How are we under the new covenant? You man are lying, man. You're lying. How are we under the new covenant and you're trying to tell people to know the Lord? You shouldn't have to teach them if we're under the new covenant. Why would some of the house of Israel be under the new covenant, but others are still lost sheep? No. When the Israelites are under the new covenant, they're all going to be under it. According to Hebrews, the 8th chapter and the 11th verse, and Jeremiah, the 33rd chapter, the 33rd verse to the 34th verse. We're not under the new covenant yet. But people that are false prophets are lying and saying that we're under it. You wouldn't have to be under a 501c3 if you're under the new covenant. You'd have your own thing established, man. And we'd also be able to see Yahweh Shai on the earth if it was under the new covenant. We're not under the new covenant, man. Verse 8. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because ye have spoken vanity and lie and seen lies, therefore, behold, I am against you, saith the Lord Yahweh. And my hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people, neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel, neither shall they enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Don't be lying, man. If you don't want to be called like one of the main people that people are gonna be looking for when all hell breaks loose, man, right? Are some of these church pastors, man. Some of these church pastors are gonna be getting ran down, man. Something is telling me that that's gonna be happening, which the Bible is what is the reason why I'm saying this, man. That these people are gonna be getting chased down in that time, man. They're gonna be really getting hunted down because they decided to start lying. You know what I mean? Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 4, and it shall come to pass in that day. In fact, verse 3. Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 3, and it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of Yahweh. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesieth. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed every one of his vision when he hath prophesied, neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive. They're not going to want to be trying to come and trying to tell people nothing about the Lord no more. Some of these people, they're going to try and pretend like they never did that in the first place. And they're going to be getting chased down, man. Verse 5, but he shall say, verse 5, but he shall say, I am no prophet, I am a husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. They're going to lie and say, man, I never tried to be, I was never speaking about the Lord. I'm a farmer. You know what I mean? I'm a dentist. I'm a construction worker. I'm a police officer. I'm a taxman. I'm not one of the. I'm a construction worker. I work in retail. What are you on about? I'm not I'm a JCB driver. I'm a forklift driver. Whatever their profession was in the world, they're gonna be like, that's not me. You got me mistaken for somebody else. You're saying we all look alike. They're gonna be trying to escape out of trying to be under that, because what they said was happening was gonna be lies, man. All you fake Jehovah's Witnesses, you're going to be getting chased down as well, because you was trying to say, oh, now we're going to be raptured by the time in it. Nah, you ain't going to be. You're going to be on the earth. People are going to see you. And they're going to be running you down. All these Israelites that are in the Jehovah's Witness thing that you've been trying to make out like they ain't Israelites, they're going to be looking for you. They're going to realize that you are, in fact, the people that run that thing are, in fact, Edomites, man. And they're going to be angry, man. They're going to be angered by you people that you lied to them. You know what I mean? And that you cost them. They're going to view it as though you cost them their salvation. And they're going to be angry towards you, man. Verse 6, and one shall say unto him, what are these wounds in thine hands? And he shall say, and he shall answer, those with which I was wounded in the house of my friend. It's going to be their own people that are going to be running upon him, man. Remember, why you battered and bruised? Man, my own people did this to me. My own people did me like that. All you false people, man, that have been lying about the Lord, man, Yahweh's going to get you. And you're thinking it's not a big deal to lie about the Lord, but you're going to find out, no, it is a big deal to lie about the Lord, man. Of all the things that you want, that people should be able to say about you on this earth, right? You can be justified for them, right? But it's not, being a false prophet ain't one of those things, right? Being a false prophet is not one of those things that Yahweh's going to justify a man for. Didn't Yahweh justify Job because Job spoke more aright about how Yahweh is than what the men that was accusing him spoke? And Elihu, he really spoke it real about how Yahweh is. But Job spoke it more real than the men that was accusing him, and had Elihu there to really give it to Job and tell Job, listen, man, humble down, because Yahweh can do ultimately what he wants to do. You know what I mean? Yahweh made you rich. Yahweh gave you all these things, so just humble down and accept it, because you wasn't there when all of these things took place in the heavens. So you can't really say nothing anyway. Romans chapter 8 and verse 33. Who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elect? It is God that justifieth, and you don't want the things that you're saying. that you need justifying for. Being a false prophet ain't one of those things that you're going to be justified for. It's just not. Yahweh never liked a false prophet. There's not any time in the Bible that you can find people that been talking false prophecies and then Yahweh spares them. They always get judged. Whereas a person that's been has been a true prophet and has still yet did things that are evil has always received mercy. But the false prophet always got judged, no? The false prophet always ended up getting taken out, man. They never got justified. But the true prophet, even that I did things wrong, received mercy. King David, he was a prophet. He prophesied on things and he received mercy. Whereas Saul, he never. And Saul dived into spells and stuff like that for him to try and search out things, and he never received mercy for that, man. He was rejected. Jeremiah spoke true, you know what I mean? But these false prophets, man, Yahweh's gonna get them, man, for lying. Like, don't you think that's embarrassing? Aren't you embarrassed that you lied about the Lord? Like, don't you think that's embarrassing for you that you did that? Isn't that embarrassing for you? Like, how don't you find trouble sleeping at night knowing that you're lying to people about the Lord? Knowing that somebody, for some of you people out there, aren't you embarrassed that you know that somebody literally came to you with money and said lie about what's in the Bible, right? Which would confirm that they know what's in the Bible is true. And you agreed with them to lie for money. And aren't you embarrassed by that you did that? Don't you find that embarrassing? Aren't you embarrassed with yourself that you did that? Nah? Aren't you disgusted with yourself? Nah? You find it comfortable to sleep at night? That you're trying to make money from the Bible? Like, aren't you embarrassed that you're trying to sell Hebrew names? Like, ain't you embarrassed about that? You know what I mean? When do you have to, even in the world, pay for your actual name that you have as a person? You know what I mean? As if you can't just agree to call somebody a name. Like, why would you need to buy that? Like, what are you doing? Aren't you embarrassed by the fact that you did that? You know what I mean? That you're selling people names. Like, who do you think you are to be doing that? And then when people get rebuked about certain things like this, then they try and look at who's saying it to them. But if it's true what's being said, then accept what's being said, man. And that's the reason why a lot of people are going to get destroyed. Because according to 1 Corinthians, the 1st chapter, because the men are not the glorious men of the world, right? People ain't going to, because Yahweh chose the foolish things of the world, people don't want to hear it. Revelation chapter 19 and verse 10, and I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So if the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, then it's not going to be the spirit of false prophecy, is it? It's going to be about saying what's true. What does he look like? Who is he coming to save? Is he coming to bring peace? Is he coming to bring war? Or is he coming to bring peace through bringing war? You know? Does it say in righteous? You know what? Verse 11. And I saw the heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Because the war that he's going to bring is ultimately going to lead to righteousness being established on the earth. And the judgments that he's going to be doing when he brings that war, and the death that he's going to be bringing to these people, is righteous because they deserve it. They've shed men's blood, the children of Israel specifically. So their blood's going to have to be shed so that the blood can be cleansed that's been shed. Because according to Numbers, the book of Numbers, I believe the 35th chapter and the 33rd verse, or the 33rd chapter and the 35th verse, which I'll quickly look and see. The blood can't be cleansed but by the blood of him that shed it, right? Numbers chapter 35 and verse 33, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell. For I, Yahweh, dwell among the children of Israel. And that's the reason why America is going to be destroyed completely, because too much blood's been shed. It can't be cleansed. The only way to balance the scale of that place is to destroy it completely. That's the only way that particular place can be cleansed. Complete obliteration of it. We would have healed Babylon, but it cannot and will not be healed, right? And that's why you don't want to be telling no false prophecies, man. You don't want to be telling people that there ain't going to be no Jacob's trouble. How are you going to say, right? How can you feel comfortable saying that there's not going to be no Jacob's trouble when you open up the Bible, right? And open it up and go to the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, it says this: alas, for that day is great, so that there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. How can you tell people that there's not going to be no Jacob's trouble when it says that there is going to be a Jacob's trouble, but he's going to be saved out of it? So he's letting everyone know there's a time that's never going to happen, that's never happened on the earth before, that's going to happen, that's going to be called specifically Jacob's trouble, but Jacob's going to be saved out of it. The Israelites are going to be saved out of it, right? How can you feel comfortable saying that? How can you feel comfortable saying that, even though you know that there's a technology out there that can go in people's hands or in their heads, and you feel comfortable saying that, nah, that's not anything that's going to be relevant to the Bible? But then, and talking about it's June, there ain't no charagmas, it's June. But then June ends up getting called in the land of America National Charagma Month. So the Spirit was against your false prophecy on that, to the point where the month that you said it's June, they ain't none of it, became the month that they specifically talk about that more in the world. Shouldn't that have caught you to the heart and made you be like, you know what, I better change up my doctrine and start singing the truth? But these people will see this video and be like, who's this guy? I don't know him from nowhere. I don't need to listen to what he's saying, as if I'm lying. But then a person that's lying, that's got 150 million, they'll be able to say whatever they want to say. They'll be able to change the doctrine like they change socks, change the doctrine like they change underwear. You know what I mean? Ride through on a horse, all kind of stuff, man. And no, I ain't saying nothing. They ain't gonna quit. Ain't gonna. But last week you said, oh, but a year ago you said, oh, but 3 years ago you said, because they're just like, man, but let me get some of that money though. Let me get some of that money. I like this garment that I'm in, so I'm on that garment thing. Oh, we all make mistakes, but then they'll be laughing at Great Millstone. They don't allow Great Millstone to make any mistakes without scoffing. You know what I mean? Great Millstone, the apostles of Great Millstone can't be poor in a world that's designed to destroy our people, that they specifically say that we're under curses, but then call people bums. Wouldn't the curses of Deuteronomy 28th chapter made us be bums? Wouldn't going to your enemy for the want of all things make you a bum? Wouldn't refusing to get a 501c3 to where you getting tax exemptions, wouldn't that cause for you to, because you decide to fight for the doctrine, wouldn't that cause for you to be poor in the world? And Esau's got money, so glorying in money shouldn't be a thing that you even use to decide whether someone's righteous or not anyway. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, and he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. What's the charagma? It's an insertable mark, man. It's a cutting in the flesh. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, not no embargo, none of that. A physical thing that individual people, whether they be small, great, rich, poor, free or bond, everyone is going to be made to have to say they want to take it or not. Right? And it's very important to mention this prophecy, because when you go to Revelation 19 and 20, it says this about this same thing. Revelation 19 and 20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the charagma of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone. So you get cast into the lake of fire for taking it, right? Plus he says that people are going to be deceived into taking it. So they're not going to be honest that this is a thing that if you take it, you're going against God. They're not going to tell people that. They're not going to say that they've connected spirit and that they've used spells in their plans of making this stuff, that they're doing witchcraft in regards to them making this, and that even though it's a technology thing, it's actually a spiritual thing as well, and that when people take it, they're going to be different spiritually, right? I've saw videos where people have taught that stuff, and the guy damn rolls his eyes up in his head. There's a video of a guy taking this on the BBC News, man, and when he takes it and they put it in his arm, his eyes literally roll up into the back of his head, man, literally. He's like blinks from the pain and he look his eyes roll up into the back of his head. And brothers out there probably seen that video. It's a BBC News where the guy takes one and his eyes roll up into the back of his head, man. You know what I mean? It's a spiritual thing. And it's so heavy, this particular prophecy, that people are going to be beheaded for not wanting to take it. So you shouldn't just be saying, oh, it's an embargo. And you should be looking into everything to do with it. Internet of Things, Internet of Bodies, cryptocurrency, all the things that are possible out there in the world to connect. Be looking into why they're trying to overly promote Bitcoin to people. You know what I mean? Overly looking into why they're trying to make cashless society. And how if you got a cashless society, then what are people going to use instead of cash? And you shouldn't be so gullible and say, oh, well, you've already got one in your phone anyway. You've already got these things in your phone because you know yourself, you've lost your phone before and you've not known where your phone is. So don't try and be a smarty pants. Oh, but it's in your, mate, you know yourself, you've lost your phone before. You know that your phone's not been on you and you'll be like, oh, where's my phone? And then you're scrambling around looking for your phone in places that you know your phone wouldn't be. You might look in the kettle for your phone. You might look in the bin for your phone. You might look behind sofas for your phone, looking underneath the pillows for your phone, all that. Going in your car, looking under the car seats, looking in the boot for your phone, just looking all kind of places for your phone. And then you end up finding that your phone was just in the last pair of jeans that you wore. You know what I mean? Or the last pair of trousers, or in your last coat pocket that you wore. So you know that it being in your phone is not the same as it being in you. You know what I mean? Where you'll find that your wallet being in your back pocket versus being in your hand is not the same thing, is it? But the Charagma is going to make all your information, everything about you, and everything that allows you to interact with the world that they want to make have to be in you. With a Charagma that's going to go in your hand, the payment version is going to be what goes in people's hands. The version that can allow people to do other things would be in their head. But the version within your hand, right, is going to be the version that's used for the buying and selling. And it exists right now. But false prophets are going to say, oh, that exists, but that's never going to be made mandatory. Why would you think that? Why would you believe that, knowing all the things that Esau's did in this world? Why would you not even think he might do it? Why would you be so standing and saying he would never do that? But then at the same time, you admit that this guy is the devil. You know what I mean? What would be the reason for that? It's very suspicious, man. Considering all the information. If a man will do book breaking, you think he won't put Charagmas in people? What's worse? You know what I mean? What's more vile? To put a Charagma in someone's hand? Or that? What requires more of a grimy spirit? You know what I mean? What requires more of a grimy spirit, man? They're going to do it. They're going to make the Charagma mandatory. They're going to do it. And you can bury your head in the sand and say they're not going to do all you want. They're going to. You understand? They're going to do it. It's not a game. They're going to do it. And everything that's taking place right now in every single person's lives that's of the elected nation of Israel is with them building up spiritually the courage to deny it when it comes. That's what it's all about. That's what's happening. But false prophets are going to say they're not going to do it. Forget what these men are talking about. They're bums. And you know what I mean? They're going to just try and attack character and all that. Oh, they swore on the video. I turned it off. I was rocking them until they swore. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither had received his Charagma in his Charagma upon their foreheads or in their hands. So they didn't take no version of that Charagma. They didn't say, you know what, I want to be able to speak Spanish, so give me one of them Charagmas in my head and let me be able to download Spanish language in there. Nah, fuck that. If I want to learn Spanish, right? I'm a study in a book. Or I've got I need to cure a addiction I've got. So give me a Karogma so that I can cure my alcohol addiction. Nah, thanks. You know what I mean? I'll clear it with prayer. You know what I mean? Neither did they say, you know what? I want to go Asda's or I want to go to say Sainsbury's, so I'm gonna get a Karogma so that I can still carry on getting my Honey Nut Cheerios every single week. You know what I mean? They're not gonna do that. They're gonna be prepared to get beheaded because they believe in Yahweh Shai and because they believe that the word of Yahweh, that Yahweh gave to Yahweh Shai to give to the disciples, that the disciples through time ended up speaking, and that we believe that doctrine too. And they didn't worship the beast. They didn't trust in Esau's world, right? They didn't trust in what he's saying the future beholds, right? You own nothing and be happy, right? We don't want to own nothing. We want to own things and be happy. We want to be immortal and be happy. We want to be under the laws of Yahweh. That's what we want to do to be happy. That's what we know we have to do to be happy. We're Israelites. We can't, our spirit don't work in this world, man. We're alien to this world, man. We don't fit in this place. Neither had received his Karogma upon their foreheads. We ain't taking it in our head, and we ain't wanting it in our hand, neither. And they lived and reigned with a Yahweh Shai and Mashiach 1,000 years. We don't want none of that Karogma stuff, man. But false prophets are going to tell people something else. And if you don't want to be called a liar, just don't lie. Right? Just don't lie, man. Don't get offended when people are going to call you a liar. Don't get offended when people are going to call you a false prophet. If you don't want to be called a false prophet, don't prophesy falsely then. Tell the truth. Right? And then you won't be called a false prophet, will you? And it's going to be revealed that people have been lying, man. And people are going to get angry because people out there really believe in the Lord, man. There's people out there that really love the Lord. Israelites love the Lord, man. They love God in general. They have a zeal for God. But a lot of the time, it's not according to knowledge. And when they realize that they've been lied to and tricked and deceived, and it cost them money too, they're going to be angered by that. And they're going to look for these people, man, that lied to them falsely. Like it says in Zechariah, the 13th chapter. And on that, I'm going to say shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.